Welcome back to the Two Promises podcast. Let's dive right into another exciting adventure with BD and crew as he pursues his new passion of one day finding the most epic bourbon. The Two Promises team send their special thanks to Hobie and the Huckleberries for their masterful theme music. So grab a glass, relax, and enjoy responsibly.
Baby says she's leaving if I don't stop drinking wine. So I switched to whiskey, now I'm feeling fine. Drinking that smooth, smooth whiskey. No more wine. I like straight bourbon. Baby, you try the ride.
All right, welcome back to the show, everybody. We have another great special guest here on the show. We have Shannon Book. His background is he's a Navy FMF corpsman, and he served during the peak of the Iraq conflict. He is an award-winning musician and an advocate for veterans issues and the Gold Star community. And beyond that, he is also just an all-around great guy, and I'm so stoked that we got to meet each other whenever I was in Texas, hanging out with a good friend of mine who's also going to be on the show. And Mr. Book was filming his music video, which was a lifelong dream of his. And because of me being there, someone had to fall out of the production last minute due to a medical issue. And my buddy was called, so both of us came by, helped out, and I got to meet this incredible individual.
Bro.
How you doing, Shannon?
Dude, listen, I'm great. You may or may not have, I don't know if I will live up to that intro or not. I am grateful. I will say this, it was probably my biggest pleasure to have met you, because for us as corpsmen, we don't have just one facet we have to fill. We're like the janitors of the medical field in the military. We literally are. Hey, I don't know if you know this or not, but the ammo dump over there's got 47 bodies on it. We need you to go help clean that up. Whatever. Just, we need you to go because we know you know how to put bodies in bags. Whatever. Just go do your thing. But you're a SEAL. I'm a freaking Fleet Marine Force corpsman. And those two jobs are extremely kinetic. It doesn't matter how you look at it. It's just a kinetic job. They're both kinetic jobs. And you're always on a trigger. I'm technically supposed to be on a trigger. Whatever. I'm not. You're not putting me in a box because I didn't pull the trigger. I promise you that. You can guarantee that. After the first time I pulled the trigger on a human being, you'll never see that again. You ain't putting me in a box before you go in a box, bro. So technically, Fleet Marine Force guys are not supposed to shoot. Obviously, that's changed throughout years. But when I went to war the first time, we had pistols. That was it. You're a staff NCO. You don't shoot at anybody unless you necessarily have to. Personally, as far as I'm concerned, and I'm sure you can equate to this or agree to it, that overwhelming firepower is the best preventive medicine on the battlefield.
Absolutely. Win the fight first. That comes before any treatment.
Right. I have adopted that in my life. I don't know about you, but I have. We walk into a bar. I'm 50 years old. First of all, I'm not out there looking to get into some sort of bar brawl anyway, because I'm just too old. I'm over it. But if you walk up to me feeling your oats and you feel like you need to sow some shit, I ain't going to say nothing. I'll be like, no, bro, it's all good. And I walk back from the bathroom and I hit you over the side of the head with a fucking tree or a truck door. And then I'm going to leave because my job is not to let you know that, A, I'm coming. B, I didn't start this, but I'm going to finish it. And C, I'm walking out. I don't care. Don't care. Whatever that takes, I'm walking out. So I adopted the hard way. And initially, just like you as a corpsman, there's a reason that we're so good at what we do because we weren't initially taught to kill. Your job was, before you became a SEAL, just with me, the same with me. You fan fired a 22 Beretta, 22 caliber Beretta. That's what I did. I fan fired a 22 caliber Beretta. That was the first weapon I touched in the military.
Yep.
The only weapon I touched until I actually went to the Fleet Marine Force. And then I touched all of the weapons.
Right.
Yeah. All of the weapons.
240s, 50 cals.
155s, freaking M1A1s. Like, I've touched them all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I honestly can say I've slap fired a 155. So like,
Yeah.
I've touched them all.
There's not many people that can say
You
that.
know? No, not at all. And I can tell you right now, I bet you I can still do a headspace and timing on a mod deuce without a gauge. I bet you
Right.
money I can still do it.
Yep.
I bet you money. And all it was back in the day was click the barrel all the way in and bring it back until you feel the bolt relief. And when you feel the bolt relief, you should be in time. But they make a gap for that. They make a gap gauge for that.
Yep.
I mean, I learned how to do it without a gap gauge because there was always the possibility of that happening.
Right.
That's,
Having a backup.
that's the difference between the world today and what it was yesterday.
Yeah.
Like,
So-
I'm going to be prepared for some shit. Anyway, moving on.
So whenever I went to Iraq, we were on the 50 cal as well. And at least the models that we had, there was no safety on them.
Oh,
Did
yeah.
you have a similar?
Oh, yeah. There's the fire selector in the middle, which is in the back by the butterfly. That's the fire selector. So you got single fire, and then you have automatic fire. That's it.
Right.
And then you have the butterfly.
Yep.
That's the only safety you have. This is my safety, sir.
And yeah, for real.
Yeah.
And we just got 550 cord and some of the 50 cal shells, and we would put that in underneath that button,
Yeah.
the butterflies, just so that we did have some type of mechanical safety.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I was very used to.
Yeah.
Whenever I went through training again for my 6th deployment,
Yeah.
I was training with some of the other active duty guys, I think Team 7, and the technology has changed.
Yeah.
They now have an actual safety.
Is it the Modus has a safety on it now?
Yeah.
Good. That's what you guys did for freaking range safety. Like, we didn't do that shit. Marines don't give a fuck. Like, if we fly up against the button and just freaking let a couple freaking rounds go, it is what it is. That was God telling us to let it go. Like, you guys are constantly, well, because you guys are surgically kinetic. And you guys really only get called out to do high speed, like shit that it's high priority, it's high visibility, and generally super important. And now, does that mean that a Marine Corps unit can't do what you guys do? No, it doesn't. But you guys do it with precision, and you guys do it with small tactics, small unit leadership, which is awesome. The Marine Corps would just literally walk in with a hammer going, we're going to take that. like that's what the Marine Corps does.
And
So-
a lot of times, that's exactly what we need.
Yeah.
And that's why I loved working with the Marines every time I was overseas.
That's why I don't understand this whole, the personal preservation of like Marines and SEALs and blah, blah. Like, I don't care, bro. That's like, and again, I'm not bashing all your boys, but like, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but I'm pretty sure we all embellish some shit. But do you really need to embellish it so cool that you're just like one of those untouchable people in the world? And I don't want to call out names. But you know as well as I do, before we were talking about how all these people are getting flagged with all this, well, I'm really awesome. But are you though? What makes you so much more awesome than Stan Quickbeck over here? Like, Stan did some shit, but Stan don't talk about it as much as you do. Like, shut up. And do you need to stand in front of a camera and tell everybody what you did? Because what's that do for you? I can tell you what I did. We've had this conversation. You know what I tell people I used to do?
Yep.
I made ice cream, bro.
Yep.
That's it. Because I don't really want to get into the depth of what my job entailed most of the time, because by the time I get to the meat and potatoes, you ask me, and you have never done my job. By the time I get to the meat and potatoes, you're going to be looking at me like I'm fucking crazy. You're going to be looking at me like I'm some sort of sociopath, which I might be on Tuesdays and Fridays. You don't know. We don't know. It's probable. But you're going to look at me like I'm a sociopath, because my life has not been a normal life. Like, it was normal to a period, and then there were some things that not everybody gets to experience. Now, we could all go into everybody else's life and see that same way, But at the end of the day, going to war, I'm not just saying one time. So yeah, if you go to war one time and you experience it, man, I don't know. To me personally, if I'd only gone the first time and didn't have to go back the second time, I think I'd have been able to high five it and been like, all right, cool. I'm going to go back and get some fucking therapy and just go back to work. Like, whatever. Like, I'm going to go do something else. Like, I don't know, paint cookies or mow glass shavings or something, whatever. Something stupid. I want to go do something that requires less brains than this. But war is not something that everybody gets to experience. And once you do experience it, and you know this, it's not a video game. There's no love scene. There's no long, drawn-out kiss. There's no soundtrack. The only soundtrack is chaos and hatred. Like, that's all it is. That's what war is. I don't understand how people can, like, glorify war, you know?
Yeah.
You know what I mean by glorify? Like, don't get me wrong, I play Call of Duty because I can't shoot real people anymore. Like, that's just something I do just because I can take my brain off and I can just go, all right, whatever. It's
Zone
a
out.
game.
No responsibilities, just playing.
This is me right here all day. This is my little wheelhouse right here. And so if I'm in that game level, like, it's cool. But the reality is that that's not real war. That's not even remotely close. They model it from war, but it's a video game.
Right.
Like, real to life war is ugly. It's ugly. There's nothing cool about it. There's nothing cool about it. I don't even like how I felt when I was in combat. Right. I felt more hatred than I've ever felt in my life coming at me and emanating from me.
Absolutely.
That's the ugly truth. That's the ugly truth. I'm just a poor podunk kid from nowhere, Kentucky, you know, a little podunk town, Hazel Green, Kentucky. But what I do know is that my parents raised me, my grandparents raised me to be a good-hearted man. She's a good-hearted woman in love with good timing, man. No, I ain't that guy. But I was raised to be a moral individual. And so for me, my moral compass is to give, serve, protect, dedicate, honor, courage, commitment. All those things that we kept spitting out. Like, I bought them hook, line, and sinker.
Yeah.
Swallowed the whole fucking rod and reel, bro. Like, I swallowed the whole fisherman. Like, kiss my ass. I'm ready to go. Because that's what I believed in. And I still believe in that. I still believe in that today.
Which is super awesome because it's also easy to lose.
Yeah, it is. It is. And you know what's ridiculous? It's funny that you say that, Brent, because I was just on another podcast. My buddy, Brian Talley. I don't know if you've ever met him, but you need to meet him. I'll introduce you eventually. But Brian Talley is a former Marine, and he got really sick. You know, he was running his own landscaping business in, you know, Houston, Texas, and he was, you know, raising his family and doing this thing and all this other stuff. And then all of a sudden, he just got super ill. And the VA was kind of chasing his illness and not really kind of chasing his illness. And then eventually, even to this day, like, and this is several years later, like, you know, he still walks around with a colostomy bag because he doesn't have a choice. You know, he ended up getting some flesh-eating bacteria from the Philippines or some shit back when he was deployed. And it laid in his body dormant forever. And then all of a sudden it woke up. And the VA was like, I don't know what to do with my hands. Yeah. So Brian Talley took a bill, the Talley bill, and took it straight to Washington and dumped it on the front steps and says, motherfuckers, take care of us. And he did. So, but Brian Talley he's just another one of those guys where but we were just talking about how this country was designed. Our Constitution was designed to keep us on the X in the middle. And we have tried to dismantle that Constitution for 252 years. We've tried to dismantle that Constitution.
Yeah.
As a collective. And it has been the Constitution to keep us above the rest in reproach.
Yeah. The erosion of the Constitution and then the efforts from whatever powers that be you want to consider or whatever
Yeah, you can't even use a party name anymore, like, because they're all fucked up.
Right. They've just misshaped so much of that in people's mind through misinformation that most people, even if they're high school, college educated, really don't know what that Constitution is really all about and what it really says.
Absolutely. That's why, to me personally, like, it's more important for you to intellectualize yourself. Like, you need to be smarter than the people around you. I have to be smarter than the people around me. And it's not a luxury. It's a requirement.
Right.
It's a requirement, man. And it doesn't mean that I have to be smarter than you. It means that I have to be more learned than you. I can't necessarily be smarter than everybody, but by God, if I know about something you don't, so my goal is to be, I guess, more prepared. Not more intellectual, not more intelligent, not more strong, more prepared. Because at the end of the day, that's intellect anyway, right? Being prepared.
In many ways, as the old trope kind of goes, knowledge is power, and not just for your ability to wield it or use it, but it's also defensive. It can help be your body armor against some of that misinformation and some of the manipulation techniques that are literally all around us.
Right. Listen, dude, I'm going to tell you right now, I don't know what the rest of your followers are all about, but I'm pretty sure they're pretty solid moral people. But for me personally, like, the best guide and compass I have in my life, and I don't use it half as much as I should, is the Bible.
Right.
It's the best freaking rule book on the planet.
Absolutely.
And you can't deny it. I don't give a crap who you are. You can't deny. You can try all you want. And you can deny it, but you ain't going to deny it accurately. You ain't. You ain't going to do it.
Right. The truth will always be made manifest. It will
There are 60
continually
books.
bubble to the surface.
Right. There are 60 books by 62 authors in that freaking book, man. And those timelines are so skewed and so far away from each other to be talking about the same thing. And you can't deny the fact that Jesus Christ was part of this land. Our whole calendar, the whole globe. What is today? What's the day on the calendar?
It is February 17th.
February 17th, Tuesday, February 17th, 2025. ADE.
Right.
Because we have to put the E on the end of it now. BCE, ADE, whatever. There's a reason the entire globe uses the BC and AD calendar.
Right.
The entire globe. Not just 40%. Like, all of us use the AD and BC calendar. Because that's the moment we all realized that Christ was real. And that he was real in this world. But he did what he was supposed to do. And the reality is we can all try to deny that all we want. It ain't going to lead you but one place. And now there's all kinds of ways for you to get to that one place, but I promise you that's where you're going. You do what you want with that. Me personally, we just go back and look at the story of freaking Abraham. We can go back and look at the story of Moses. We can go back and look at the story of David.
Right.
All those people had to deal with corrupt people.
Yep.
Tons of corrupt people. Well, how did they deal with corrupt people? And just give you one solid collegiate answer. That right there.
Right.
That Bible. That's how they dealt with it.
Yep.
Now, don't get me wrong, because there's some corrupted assholes that use Bible too. That's the reality, which sucks. Because somebody who takes something that's so amazing and use it for bad. Anyway, I digress. I'm pretty sure I'm derailing this whole podcast with God right now, which is, I apologize. I don't
You're all right.
love Jesus, but let's start over. Hi, I'm Shannon. I'm from this little town called Hazel Patch, Kentucky. I'm a retired Navy corpsman. Did 17 years, spent most of that time with the Fleet Marine Force. The units that I was a part of was 1st Tanks, 1, 8th Tanks, 2-1, 1-1, 1st Marine Regiment, 1st Marine Division, and Field Med, and the USS John A. Moore.
That is quite the command history.
There's a couple of things in there somewhere.
Yeah.
I made a lot of ice cream.
Yeah.
I made a lot of ice cream for a lot of people.
Oh, all the people around you were so happy
Oh,
to
yeah.
get all that ice cream.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, they were. But that's me in a nutshell. Just a little podunk from Kentucky, and grew up with some good parents. And I mean, they were kids when they were raising us, but
Yeah.
I'm a Gen Xer. It is what it is. Like whatever. Right.
Yeah. So I think we got to touch on a lot, but a new layer of this onion in our history and relationship. I'm from a super podunk town as well.
Yeah.
My parents were kids whenever they raised us.
Right.
They got married probably in their teens.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. And they're still together, been together the whole time.
Bro, I was
And
conceived at 16. So, like, my parents were kids raising a kid. Brent, we have so much in common, bro. It's not even funny.
it's crazy.
Like, I feel like you're from, like, the little Eureka town in fucking Indianapolis. Like, Eureka.
Eureka. Oh, man.
Anyway, but yeah, no, yeah, dude. But I think that's what made us who we are.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely. You mentioned that, hey, you already had a lot of those moral character traits that boot camp and the whole system of the military works on ingraining into people so that they can take people from anywhere, regardless of their background in life, could be a city folk, could be whatever,
Right.
and give them the same sheet of music to sing off of. Give them the character development so that they can operate in an ethical way, whether they do it or not.
Right.
That's on the individual, but the system is designed to at least attempt to input those positive character traits in there to help the overall functioning of the system at large.
Right. And you know what's funny is I hear this all the time. I heard this the other night on another podcast. We have this thing. I don't know what it is, and I don't know why it is, but we have this thing where we associate the military with structure. Now, granted, there's a lot more structure in the military than there is any regular, everyday, natural life. There's a lot more structure. We know that. And the only thing that gives it that structure is the UCMJ. That's it. Because nobody wants to be under the brig or, half month's pay times 2 or fuck my soul kind of shit. Nobody wants
Bread and water.
Right. Nobody, 3 days bread and water. Like, that's still a thing, just so you all motherfuckers know. Nobody wants to be there. Some people just don't give a shit. But the other side of that coin, and this is where I want to caveat that before I go any further with it. This is where people are like, oh my God, he's a veteran. He's got to be awesome. How many shitbags did you have in one given platoon at any given time?
More than enough.
The teams. And you're in the team. Yep. And you are more high profile than I am.
Yeah. And all the vetting that went into getting there, and they're still...
Right, and they're still shitbags.
Yep.
They're still shitbags. And the reality is, the title veteran at the end of your fucking name doesn't give you any fucking power. You know what gives you power? The fact that God gave you breath in your lungs this morning. That's what gives you power. Mm-hmm. That's the machine that runs. The machine is the machine that God provided for you to get done what he needs you to get done. Period. Now, that being said, I am just as guilty of putting my own pride first. I am just as guilty of that. But I work every day to not do that anymore because I know what that brings me. And I'm not a fan.
Right.
But at the end of the day, we have this thing where, it's like we have to have purpose, or just because you're a veteran, you're an awesome person. And the reality is that not every veteran is an awesome person. Not every veteran is an awesome person. Just like I was talking a few minutes ago, there are shitbags in every unit. And I don't give a shit if you're a fucking laundry detergent unit. There's going to be a shitbag in that fucking laundry detergent unit. I watched 688 last night for the first time. You want to talk about an amazing movie? Listen, I'm not a big freaking race freaking baiting watching movie, but the color purple and stuff like that, those things should be watched. Those should be learned about. Those things, Glory, like the movie Glory. when slaves started fighting the Civil War with the rest of the world. Like, yeah, hey, fuck yeah, let's talk about that. 6888 was a bunch of freaking women, bunch of black women in the Army Corps, the Women's Army Corps, that basically got the mail back on track for the whole country.
Wow.
And that was just one freaking platoon of like 80 women.
Wow.
And there was so much strife in our own government. They even brought the chaplain corps in to screw them over. You should watch it, Brent. I'm telling you. It's a hard watch. It's a hard watch. There's not a lot of dying. There's not a lot of death. There's a lot of emotion.
Yeah.
And when I say emotion, I mean shit. Like, it makes my fucking stomach turn how we used to talk to each other.
Yeah.
I mean, when I say how we used to talk to each other, we still do it. It's no different. But I don't know about you, but where I grew up, if I said something nasty to somebody, my mom would smack my teeth out.
Yep. We'd get whoopings. I've even had the old soap.
Yeah.
Soap wash.
Yeah. Open your mouth, boy. I don't want to. Yeah. Well aware. I know what dial tastes like. At least it wasn't Irish Spring. There's no
Right.
way.
Yeah.
Irish Spring is probably one of the most deodorized freaking soaps on the planet.
Lingers.
I didn't even want to know what that shit tastes like. It's not good.
One thing you touched on a while back, I thought it was kind of interesting. You'd mentioned kind of your tempo, your deployment tempo.
Yeah.
One round, hey, you know what? Sure, there'd be lingering effects or there would be something, that sticks with you. But it sounded to me like you were saying that the cumulative effect or the addition of that next deployment almost seemed to make more of a transformation than you were expecting or just the one did.
So trauma is subjective, obviously. If we don't know that, we should know that. Trauma is subjective to every individual. So if let's say you got 50 paper cuts in an hour, what are you going to do every time you grab a piece of paper?
Be extremely careful and hesitant.
You're going to be like, I ain't trying to get cut again, motherfucker. Like, it doesn't matter how painful it is. We all know paper cuts suck. And they ache after they're done just because they're basically tears and not cuts. The reality is that trauma is that way for everybody. It is that way for everybody. When you start getting complex trauma, that's over a elongated period of time. It's a truncated period of time to where you basically have stuck as much pressure in one box as you possibly can. And the reality is that that's how diamonds are made. That's literally how diamonds are made. Pressure and heat. So now you're doing that to a human being and you're expecting a softer result? It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So if you want to make diamonds, you got to make diamonds. You got to realize they're diamonds. That's literally the reality. And the reality is that, and I don't know about you, we've had this conversation. I'm going to say this, but I don't want to speak for you, Brent. So we've had the conversation of the transition, the walking away, the starting over, the feeling like I don't have a purpose and all those things. Like, I've done all of that. And the reality is that I did it all to me, period. Because I thought I was supposed to be some sort of gentle soul. Then the reality is that I am a gentle soul. I'm just a gentle soul that has no problem with cutting your throat.
Right. You got a much harsher rogue exterior.
Yeah. No. And that doesn't mean that inside of me I'm just this, because I am. We have sat and talked and laughed and cried about a lot of the same shit.
Right.
And to be honest with you, you could consider us a bunch of sissies if you really wanted to. But at the end of the day, if you look back at what we've done in our lives, there's no way you could call us a sissy.
Right. Whenever I went through kind of my crisis, it was like a Band-Aid had been on my entire nervous system and it just got ripped off.
Yep.
And you would never know what it would that would trigger another wound debridement, if you will, another It's
Great analogy.
Yeah, but
Great
it's on
analogy.
the nervous system. It's in this invisible layer of you, but it just painful, and your whole body feels it viscerally. You get that nauseous effect, and it takes time. It takes multiple times of the stripping away of that bandage that's pulling off those cells that stuck to it, pulling off those scabs that were scabbing, that were stopping the blood
Right.
flow to
Right.
let that oxygenated blood get to these new tissues
Right.
to rebuild.
There's a reason that God created us to do what we do. And there's a reason that there's a scab on the inside of my hand for 2 weeks ago. That's still a scab. That's also the web of my finger. Do you know why it's still scabbed up? Because it's a very hard and heavy used area.
Right.
So that
It's
scab's
moving,
going to
it's
be there
flexing.
until it's ready to come off. And it's the
Yep.
same way with trauma. It's the same way with the military. And what I keep seeing is that we as a collective of people, as veterans, and I don't even want to use the whole term combat veteran anymore. I'm kind of over it. Now, don't get me wrong. There are some non-combat veterans that like to put themselves in that fucking limelight. I don't know why. Because combat's just, there's nothing glorious about it at all. For those of you out there that think that combat is glorious, you're dumb. That's probably some of the most humiliating things in my life happen in combat. Some of the most scariest, horrible things. And I was having this conversation with Brian a few minutes ago. Because he was like, well, some people are just cut from a different cloth. Here's the reality. We're all cut from the same fucking cloth. It's just a different swash of cloth, the same fucking sheet. The reality is that we're all cut from that same cloth. So, and I don't know about you, Brent, but I mean, if you think that I've never frozen up on the battlefield, you're stupid. You're dumb. I didn't freeze up long enough to die.
Right.
But I have frozen up. The first time I ever pulled a trigger on a human being, it felt like it took a week. Probably less than freaking milliseconds. But in my head, the conversation, am I really getting ready to fucking shoot this guy? This is really, am I really going to kill this guy? That's the kind of conversation that was going on in my head. Because I wasn't trained to kill people. I wasn't. My job, your job after you became a SEAL was to kill people. But your job was to bring high value targets back and bring all your boys home.
Right.
Everybody else died. I was not taught that. You guys were also taught, the other side of that coin is you guys were also taught, if you don't have to fire a shot, don't fire a shot. If you don't have to kill anybody, don't kill anybody. Get the product, get the fuck out of Dodge, and fucking leave no trace. That's your job, right?
Respond to the threat, give the threat what they deserve,
Right.
no more, no less.
Get the fuck out of Dodge. Get the
Yep.
fuck extract, bitch. Like,
Yep.
period.
Thank you for joining us today on this curious roller coaster of life. If this is your stop, please exit peacefully. Enjoy the rest of your day. If you're ready for another one, just push play. Just a final note before you go, thank you, and thank you for feeling. The distillation and aging process is different for everyone. I'm not quite sure what you're ready for. Sip slowly and enjoy responsibly.
Baby says she's leaving if I don't stop drinking wine. So I switched to whiskey, now I'm feeling fine. Drinking that smooth whiskey.